My father was quite the philanderer when he was younger. And he was actually screwing some woman while I was being born. He didn't want me anyway. He wanted my mom to abort me, and she refused. Anyway, I gave that woman, the black woman I told you about, the arrogant, confident, hot as shit, speaks her mind, doesn't care woman, stuff to read a few days ago. I also wrote this: I need your help. I need your strength. I need your legal advice and the legal advice of anybody you feel might be able to help me. I need you, fill in the blank. I need your friendship that's been at least somewhat helping me stay sane. I'm going to give you some stuff to read and give back to me. I'm praying that you and I could spend one whole day talking this weekend somewhere private. This is an email that I wrote to my quote-unquote brother. Please bear in mind that I did at least still communicate with my father, despite how he treated me when I was in high school. I did still communicate with him, but I lost touch with him when I, ran off to LA to quote-unquote become a star or to be with the quote-unquote love of my life. Neither happened, neither was true, and in the end, I wound up nearly dead. Anyway, Daddy found me just shortly after, my dad found me shortly after Donald had left me like garbage at the bottom of that hill. He shoved me backwards down on November 4th, 2008. My dad found me and proceeded to accuse me of being narcissistic because, I'm sorry, but after being with an abusive relationship for so long and then nearly dying at the man's hands, I was kind of concentrating on myself, but my dad hadn't changed, and in the end, I got fed up with him. I think it was later that he decided to tell me that I had a brother. Probably is my brother. I look at him on Facebook. He looks somewhat like my dad, like me. I think he probably is my brother. I asked my father, though, are you sure it's my brother? And he said, the baby pictures look, stupid. I don't know. Anyway, I told my brother what I had a right to tell him. Especially since, I don't know what this world wants from me, Then hell with Donald, and Dad tells me about my brother. What am I supposed to do? Just pretend I'm this nice, staying, stable career woman? Yeah, whatever. Well, yeah, because Daddy had found this guy, his long-lost son, and I apparently fucked things up. How? I don't know. I'm sorry, but if your relationship is not strong, if this man, my brother, can't deal with me telling him stuff that happened 30 some odd years ago, and if he doesn't have the depth to get that our dad has changed and that, but I still have a right to talk about my life, then whatever, This is what I wrote to him. I emailed him relatively recently because Yes, folks, I did not know that I had fucked things up with Daddy and his newfound son. I didn't know. I just knew that I was in hell, and I couldn't deal with this brother that just wanted everything to be hunky-dory and to meet his sister and do whatever, you know. I was in fucking hell, okay? Ongoing hell. So I just assumed, well, everything went fine with Daddy and his newfound family, and they could just leave me to rot. Little did I know that my dad was fuming about me because I cut him off completely. And he just waiting for the opportunity to tell me off, and he got it because when I found myself in this shelter, I stupidly reached out to him and basically got an email, look, you twit or whatever, you fucked things up with my son, I want you to make it right, I want you to tell him he lied. No, fucking no, okay? Why do you think Social Security just approved me? Why do you think I now have $17,000 in the bank? Why do you think I'm going to get close to $1,000 a month? You think Social Security does things like that lightly? No. They could see what my entire family's blind to. All I did was tell the fucking truth, just like I told my brother the fucking truth. Okay? The world won't be happy until I'm dead, probably. Sure, they won't give me anything I deserve, like fame. Anyway, I've deserved that since for a long time. Long time. Deserve that. Anyway, brother's name. Dear so-and-so, I didn't say dear, but blah, blah, blah. This was an email. I have a 1-year restraining order against my, see, I wrote this rather recently because I only recently found out that I had somehow fucked things up by telling the truth. I fucked things up between Daddy and his long-lost son that he had miraculously found. Do you guys realize that, my mantra inside my head, I'm never going to be loved and be all alone forever. Anyway, do you guys realize that even all the stuff Social Security office know about me, now knows about me, because the woman that runs, you know, that takes care of that stuff in the shelter that I would see, she's part therapist, part helper, part whatever. You know, she encouraged me, we'll send everything. We'll send your college essay, we'll send the pictures, we'll send copies of your poetry, we'll send anything that lets them know what it's like to be you. And you have to fill out paperwork they give you, you know, ask you about your day, what you do each day. And you have to do this, that, what have you. And you have to meet with one of their shrinks. And do you realize I only met with one of their shrinks for an hour? I mean, there's no way I could say everything. I'd have to write a book and you'd have to read it, okay? Even then you wouldn't understand. Most of you would never understand. Anyway, brother. I wrote his name, of course. I have a 1-year restraining order against my abusive ex-boyfriend who choked me while his quote-unquote devout Christian mother watched him choke me and said nothing on 3/7/12, and I am now, after living on the streets of LA and in domestic violence shelters after 3/8/12, living in a Massachusetts homeless shelter. Because my so-called family on my mother's side has once again fucked me over. The human being who contributed the sperm that created me and that apparently, quote-unquote, apparently created you around the same time, brother, doesn't care at all about any of the aforementioned things. He only cares that my 100% truthful words to you messed up things up between you and him. I had no idea that I possessed so much power, brother, but you really shouldn't dislike or condemn our father because of the psychological, emotional, and only that kind, by the way, abuse he periodically perpetrated upon me throughout my 4 years of high school hell, when his live-in girlfriend Diane's inexplicable kindness towards me was the only thing that prevented me from falling apart completely. People change, brother. Our father drank and smoked pot back then. He was also a young, cocky bastard back then, but he's old now and in physical pain equals he wants his son. I'll never speak to him again, but so what? He and I have never been close anyway, so what does it matter? Truthfully, brother, why should you care about how our father treated me 30-plus years ago? Why should you care about me at all? Don't you get, quote-unquote, get that our father didn't even want me, brother? When I was in high school and desperate for my daddy's love and acceptance, he admitted to me that he'd always resented me because his mother had forced him to marry my mother who was pregnant with me. Relatively recently, my mom told me that my daddy had ordered her to abort me. She also told me that he was off screwing one of his whores while I was being born equals, will our father call my mom a liar like he is calling me? Sums it up, huh, baby? I reached out to my daddy when I was found myself in the shelter, and I was going, I couldn't even believe it. No, couldn't believe it. And what I got back was, you fucked things up between me and your brother, and I want you to tell him you lied. No, I didn't lie. I don't fucking lie, okay? On more than one occasion over the past few years, I've honestly told my mother that I truly wished she had aborted me like my father wanted her to do. It is what it is, brother, and there really is no legitimate reason why you and your quote-unquote normative family and daddy can't all be great friends, but I'm not gonna fucking pretend for our father or for anybody else on this planet that my life didn't happen the way I know it did. Try sometimes, but rarely succeed. Try so hard, don't know what to believe. The enemy is self-contempt. The darkest place secrets are kept. Can't be explained, can't even be named. Where is that dream I never dreamt? Even the touch that heals can't last. I have to sink down with my hands spread out before me, wanting so much to understand just a little bit, praying to a God that has never heard me. My room can't be lit. Don't want it, don't respect it, let me out quick as you can. I'm an insult to myself, the worst imposter of man. Wearing the wrong clothes, only the emperor knows. Try not to hear those voices. Will myself to make the right choices, but I've tasted the moldy bread, let the wine go to my head, sing against time in a body that isn't mine, running down the track so I can get to the finish line and give it back. Should be fucking face on that go. Should be face. 30 years ago. My grandfather thought so. Looked at me. Didn't even know that I could write. Looked at me. And my 5'9.5" glory, 140 to 150 pounds. And when are you going to Hollywood? I just looked at him. What are you talking about? Look at you, you know. And Daddy's like, don't let it go to your head. I don't, you do, Daddy. Woke up from a dream that I killed my mother. Just a dream. Doesn't mean a thing, 'cause you know that I really love her. Life is tough, nothing's enough, 'cause it's all in there to haunt me. I tried so hard not to just give up, but I know the madness wants me. This mind I have wants to see me crash, now forgives a moment's peace. Now I ache for how I pray for every day for sweet release, sweet. Essay I wrote for my college senior composition class that I ultimately got an A in, by the way, even though I did get a B on this particular essay. Social Security approved my claim. Decided that I'd been disabled all the way back to 4 months after Donald left me like garbage at the bottom of that hill. March of '09. He did it November. 08, December, January, March, yes. March of '09 was also when my mom started getting sick again. Who knows why they picked March of '09? Doesn't really matter because they only can go back 1 year from when you applied. And I wound up getting back pay in the tune of $16,600 and something. And granted, I knew what I would be getting per month because they used to, around what I'd be getting because they used to send me letters periodically. If you ever become disabled, you get that. That's because I've worked my whole life. See, Social Security sees my family's become blind to. They just expect me to go through all this hell. Anyway, college essay. My mother's first mental breakdown occurred in our blue house in Rockland. I was almost 11. She woke me from peaceful dreams to say that because she was a bad person, God would kill her that evening. These words began a series of inconsistent breakdowns that would last for 5 years. Mother and I had recently been inducted into the Society of Born-Again Christians at the church down the street. The day I accepted Jesus as my personal Savior, I came home, locked my bedroom door, and scanned my Bible for all references to sex my 10-year-old eyes could absorb. The little girl was sex obsessed. She was way back 30-some-odd years ago, more than. And still am to this day. You just would never know it. Because like my coolest shit black friend said to a guy who was trying to figure me out or whatever, and it was like, she was teasing me, and she was like, yeah, she was like, he says the librarian look, because I was wearing those glasses, and then she was like, yeah, it's always the quiet ones, you know. And then she was teasing me. She's like, yeah, she says to me, I only look in. I said, no, actually what I said is I'm not as innocent as you seem to think I am. I wondered if God would decide to kill me too. I had not exactly acted like the perfect Christian. I wanted to bolt out our door, away from my mother's frightening words. Visions of her lifeless body filtered through my mind, but I noticed her increasing terror, and I couldn't leave her. My mother's crazy rantings and glazed over eyes were clues I learned to recognize as forecasts of all her future breakdowns. My childish perspective viewed my mother's occasional craziness as an irritating, inevitable part of my life. I accepted family explanations about my mother's sickness, angrily urged her to take the medication doctors put her on, and enjoyed the new, spacious, beautiful house we had moved into. The trouble started when my stepfather's continuous drinking and refusal to get a real job forced us from my dream house and into my grandfather's bare, filthy, dark house in Hull. By the way, grandfather was Marion's father, not my real grandfather. I guess that makes it okay that he wanted to fuck me when I was 12. Not so much. I hated it there. The stagnant air reeked of the alcohol my grandfather consumed 20 hours a day. Often the only toilet in the house would fill to the brim with grandfather's daily puke and obstinately refused to flush. After we moved, my mother's sickness intensified. I blamed her for our move from wall-to-wall carpeting into grandfather's pig pen. Her sincere apologies increased my anger. She ceased taking her medication and resumed her conversation with those stupid voices. She attempted to hide her temporary lapses, but my ever-critical eyes detected her cover-ups. As I witnessed her deterioration, the loving part of me retreated and something horrible emerged. I yelled at her constantly, and she soon withdrew into her safe bedroom away from my unfair accusation. Like my booty? Woman in the shelter, older woman. I was talking about how I had a booty, and she's like, or I had an ass, because we were talking about, I don't know. And then, she goes, you don't have any ass. Oh, yeah, I do. Men have always said I have an ass. She's like a little one. Yeah, a little cute bubble butt that's bigger when I'm heavier and smaller when I'm thinner, but I still got one. And even my black friend said, oh, yeah, she has more of an ass than I do. I don't know why this woman, I actually pulled down my shorts and showed her, I don't care. Because I've never had anyone say that to me. You don't have any ass. Of course I have an ass. My ass is one of my top attributes. I know I have a fucking ass. It's just, I got thinner, so it's smaller, but it still protrudes. See, it's just a smaller bubble. Bubble, poil, and trouble. I have been deemed certifiably crazy, and now I'm on psych disability, but I don't want to be on it forever. Even the woman in the caseworker in the emergency domestic violence shelter told me, get on psych disability for a while and work part-time or whatever. I can't just get back into working when I haven't worked in 5 years. Oh.